Paragliding is basically a very personal form of flight where we use a cloth parachute with strings that keep the cloth inflated based on the design it was made with. The air goes in the front, it has nowhere to escape, so it causes the wing to assume the shape of the paraglider that it was designed with. And it's really beautiful because the whole thing folds up and goes into a pack, and we can put it all on our back and go hike up a mountain and fly back down. My first flight, they threw me off the top the first day. That's how they taught then. They just told me what to do and I went. And I could only see about this much. It was like, oh my goodness, I hope I do everything right. And when I came back up, they said, okay, it looked like you were scared on that fly. I said, well, yeah, I didn't know. You didn't tell me if it was safe or not. You said, well, no, it's not really safe, but you know. So the second flight, they said, we want you to take off and look around a little bit and just look and see what you're doing. Look up at the glider, look down at the ground, look around at the beach and at where we're flying here. And I did that, and as soon as I did, I realized this was just pure magic to be able to fly. Yeah, it's incredible. There's nothing that really describes it. Man has tried to fly his whole life, and now we can realize it. The first day we can come out and, like Leonardo da Vinci thought, we can now pull this glider up and fly and experience that. We take a very progressive learning technique that teaches you each piece of the learning to fly so that you're not faced with undue fear right off the bat. So at first you'll learn how to run with the glider, bring it up, and kite it over your head as you're running along. Then we come up the hill a little ways and we bring the kite up again and you run with it. With the help of the hill, you go a little faster and you start feeling how it lifts you. So we don't push you like off the hill the very first time. You want to work up the hill. As soon as you've mastered skimming along the ground without being very high, and you feel comfortable with the control of the brake toggles and bringing the glider up, and you have good control, then basically it's an agreement that the instructor and the student have that they're ready. We're not going to push you before we think you're ready, and we're not going to push you to go before you feel ready. So we want you to understand each step of the process before we move to the next one. We can progress logically and safely through that learning process by doing that. With the technology we have and the inherent passive safety of the gliders by themselves, the glider's only going to do something bad if we do it. So if we just let the glider fly, it just flies along beautifully. It's made that way. The other thing we do is we use modern equipment. We don't use old 5-year-old, 10-year-old gliders. We use state-of-the-art new gliders that are designed for students and not for advanced people. So the potential for success the first day is very good because of the equipment that we use, because of the techniques that we use, the safety conscious approach of every instructor that we have is really, I don't think it's better anywhere else. We start our training here at the training hill because it's a very controlled environment. Almost every day we have good winds coming from the ocean and ocean breeze coming in, and we're able to use this weather and this environment to teach in. It's very controlled, it's very consistent. We can plan on the wind being perfect each day or pretty close to it, and we know what it behaves like here. We know what the weather's like. We can actually see the wind coming from the ocean, so if it is a windy day, we can see danger coming. Once we've flown here for probably 5 to 10 days, everybody's always wanting to go to the mountains. I want to go fly the mountains. When can I do that? Well, we have to master certain basics first. Once we master our basics and get our own equipment, and not just get our equipment, but come out again and practice with our equipment so we know how to set our glider up, how to hook into our own harness, how to check our reserve parachute, how to hook up our radio and our helmet and do a pre-flight, and then be really comfortable with that whole process. Then we can go to the mountains. So we have a pre-mountain checklist that we use to make sure that we covered every piece of information, of knowledge that you'll need to fly the mountain safely. It's a big jump to go from the training hill 200 feet to the mountains, which is 4,000 feet. We don't have like a middle-sized hill here. having 4 or 5 different instructors is really valuable for the student, because as they go through their training, one of us may see something that maybe another instructor didn't have such a high priority on.
Yeah.
And so we can say, hey, it looks like you need work here. We're all trained to very high standard as far as we know what we're doing as far as our syllabus, as far as the requirements for the United States Hang Gliding Paragliding Association.
Yeah.
But we go kind of well beyond that in our approach. We really like to see people get a little more than just the bare minimum. Teaching for me is really special. I think I would teach even if I didn't have a business of teaching, just because I love bringing people to that point where they understand flying and they are learning it. It's incredible to watch someone's eyes light up from their first flight. It's like nothing else. We have developed a syllabus, a plan of learning for the student that gives them a systematic approach to it, and I think it's one of the best in the country. I think we have one of the best syllabuses, the best approaches to learning paragliding in the whole country.